YouTube, your boy back once again with another sport topic. In the day, we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today, we're going to talk about what's next for Houston Texans and exactly how they're going to handle this whole CJ situation. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Before we get in there, like I've been telling you before, man, if you're liking the content, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you watching all the videos, you comment on all the videos, you liking all the videos, you sharing all the videos on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you stay on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The link in the description below. We're still in the race to get to 6,000 subscribers. So you know what that means. I need you to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend, so they can tell another friend, so they can tell some more friends and put them on game with the channel. We really need to get this channel growing and growing and growing. Really, really appreciate that. Still in the race to get to 6,000 subscribers. So I know what that means. I need y'all to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get this channel growing to 6,000 subscribers. Like I said, I really, really appreciate that. Now, as we all know, the Houston Texans fall to the New York Jets 30-6. But the worst part about that game was quarterback C.J. Stroud got knocked out in the fourth quarter with concussion. Has now entered concussion protocol. We know the NFL is very strict. They don't play about concussions. We all know that. They don't play about concussions. A whole bunch of different steps and different type of requirements they got to do and clear throughout a whole week or more than the clear concussion protocol to be able to play for the next football game or be able to be qualified and able to play again. And not that many people really come back the following week after getting concussion. So it's kind of really up in the air, kind of really iffy. So we really know. So more than likely, you're going to be going to this game without C.J. Stroud. Now, the Texans are in the middle of a playoff hunt. We all know this. They actually control their own destiny. Even though they lost to the New York Jets, they still control their own destiny to get inside the playoffs. If they win out, they're in because they still have Cleveland and the Colts who are above them in the playoff bracket as it stands right now. And all they got to do is win out. But they're going up against a division rival in the Tennessee Titans, who just had a dogfight, a comeback win last night versus the on Monday Night Football versus versus the Miami Dolphins. So this is going to be a situation where this is a critical game. This is not just a rollover game, as some people might have thought it was going to be. It's not just going to be a rollover game. So exactly what's next for the Houston Texans and how they're going to handle this. Like I said, first things first, we got to make sure that quarterback C.J. Stroud is healthy. I would love for him to clear concussion protocol, but like I say, the chances are kind of unlikely. There's still hope, but it's kind of unlikely. You just really don't know, especially since he got taken out of the game against the Denver Broncos. I think for like 2 plays, looking at a head issue. He obviously didn't enter concussion protocol, but they took him out at the quarterback sneak. He got hit in the head, or they thought that he got hit in the head, and they put him in under the blue tent. He missed, I think 2 or 3 plays. Davis Mills came in, so we don't know. So you got that issue. Not to mention this time it was clear that there was concussion, and clear that he got put in the concussion protocol. So because of that, the NFL and the Houston Texans are going to be very, very careful. They're going to handle this with kid gloves and make sure that quarterback C.J. Stroud has done everything he's supposed to do before he's able to play a football game. So I really don't expect him to play. So now it's up to Davis Mills. So now both Bobby Slowick and DeMeco have to make sure that Davis Mills is prepared. So now we're going to see exactly how we like DeMeco as a head coach. We're going to see exactly what DeMeco is made of as a head coach, because now we're going to need his defense to buckle down, because one of the biggest issues coming out of that game, not to mention that C.J. Stroud got hurt. This is what the 3rd or 4th time this season that we've made bad quarterbacks look good against us. We made bad quarterbacks look good, have a career game, have a career day against us. More than likely, Zach Wilson is going to be AFC Player of the Week. As it stands right now, I would think that maybe Lamar Jackson might get it, but Lamar Jackson had a turnover. He had an interception. I don't know if he had a fumble, but I know he had an interception. No turnovers by Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson threw for 300 yards. Over 300 yards, like 301 yards, and 2 touchdowns, quarterback rating over 117. Like, the defense got shredded by Zach Wilson. Now, a lot of it because receivers was running wide open, and we were letting receivers run wide open. They was able. The thing Hack was able to devise a game plan, able to get his guys like Garrett Wilson and other guys wide open, and Zach Wilson was able to make plays, able to put the football where it needed to go in the rain, in the slop, and it was able to go out there and win. So the thing is, this defense, what it needs to do is stop making bad quarterbacks look good. Like Desmond Ridder had his career game against almost threw for 400 yards against you. You lose to them, and then 2 weeks later, Desmond Ridder gets benched. Then you have Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young, who's not played good at all this season, looked very formidable against us, beat us and was able to the only winner they have of the season, and also has a comeback drive. You even let Trevor Lawrence, even though people have Trevor Lawrence as a high regard, have him as some people had him as an MVP candidate coming in. He's had a decent season, but not nothing to really write home about. He has the career day against you at NRG, throwing for over 300 some yards, almost throwing for 400 yards against you at NRG, and was it 2 touchdowns, round touchdown, score touchdown, something like that. So you're letting guys you always letting mediocre quarterbacks or straight up bad quarterbacks have their best game against you. That's something that DeMeco Ryans has to buckle down, has to tighten up, and has to get that fixed and corrected. Because if he doesn't, especially going out there with Davis Mills, we're going out there with Davis Mills or Case Keenum, whoever you go out there with. Not having seen this straight out there, you just you're serving up on a recipe. You have a guy you got a guy right now, Will Levis, who's actually feeling it right now. You see the comeback win he had last night against the Miami Dolphins. He's feeling it right now. Right now, he's feeling it. He's getting in the groove of things. So he's feeling it right now. So you got to make sure you buckle that down. But then offensively, what are you going to do? Davis Mills, Case Keenum. I know that's something that people been going out there. I'll be honest, I'm going to let y'all know. Y'all need to stop it. It's going to be Davis Mills. Like, let's be honest, it's going to be Davis Mills. I know a lot of people want Keenum mania and all that type of stuff, and the former U of H fans or Cougar fans, whatever you want to call yourselves, Cougs or whatever. I know y'all out there hype for Case Keenum, and y'all want Case Keenum to come back, and y'all want Case Keenum to have a resurgence. One, if y'all seen Case Keenum, have y'all seen Case Keenum? Case Keenum does not look like he's in football shape. Case Keenum is a coach that happens to dress up as a player. He is a coach that puts on pads. That's what he is. He's just a coach that puts on pads. He does not look like he's interested in playing football whatsoever. He's a glorified coach. That's what he is. He's a coach that puts on pads. So I don't think that Casey, and I know the only reason why he dresses out is that he's designated as the emergency quarterback. So if both your quarterbacks go down and you gotta throw him out there because you gotta get through the game, you'll do that. But that he's not ready, I don't think Casey is ready to go out there to play a full football game intentionally. So I don't think it's going to be Case Keenum. I feel like it's going to be Davis Mills. So now the thing is, both DeMeco Ryans and Bobby Slowick have to make sure they get Davis Mills ready to go out there and play. And I don't want to hear, we have a backup quarterback. Because there's other teams out there, like the Cincinnati Bengals, like the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts. All these teams are in the midst of the Minnesota Vikings. All these teams are in the midst of a playoff situation. And you got both the Browns, Pittsburgh, and the Colts already in the playoffs. With their backup quarterbacks. They already in. Now they're in front of you. The Bengals are behind you. And actually, the Bengals just got their backup quarterback. Some of these other guys, Pittsburgh actually lost with their backup quarterback, so you can't take Pittsburgh out. But Cleveland been dealing with this all year because Deshaun been in and out, and then they lose. I forgot the guy after Deshaun, and then they lose another. Cleveland been dealing with this all year, and they've won 8 football games. They don't have they don't use that as an excuse. And the same thing with the Indianapolis Colts, because before AR even got completely knocked out, he never finished the game. He didn't finish not one game. So he's been in and out of the limelight through a game, and then he eventually got knocked out for the whole season. And they've been keeping their head above water, and they're ahead of you in the playoffs. They actually beat you with a backup quarterback in your stadium. So you have no excuse. You have to get yourself prepared. So I don't want to hear, we got a backup quarterback. No, I need Bobby Slowick and DeMeco Ryans to actually come up here and devise a game plan suitable enough to go inside Nashville and take care of business and beat the Tennessee Titans. You should be able to beat the Tennessee Titans. You should. This is no slight at the Tennessee Titans, because I do think the Tennessee Titans are actually a better football team than what a lot of people were giving them credit going on to the season, especially the way Will Levis has been playing. How they came back out to a 14-point deficit with 3 minutes left to go. That shows some intangibles. That shows some moxie right there. It shows some grit right there. It shows you exactly what that team is made of, especially being coached by Vrabel. Vrabel could get his guys up like that. So I need to see if DeMeco Ryans could do the same thing. That's what I need. I need to see if DeMeco Ryans could do the exact same thing for the Houston Texans. He needs to coach up his defense and get his defense to stop playing around with backup or bad quarterbacks or mediocre quarterbacks. Because I'm not even gonna put Will Levis in the bad quarterback. He's more of an unknown. But how we have shown him to bad quarterbacks like Desmond Ridder and like Zach Wilson. In my opinion, slightly above mediocre quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. I know a lot of people high on Trevor Lawrence. I've never really been all that high on Trevor Lawrence, but that's a conversation for another day. And then Bryce Young, same thing, just a rookie quarterback, but he's looking like at the very least he's mediocre as it looks right now. He's looking like a mediocre quarterback, and you letting these guys have career games. That's a you problem. That's that now. Okay, something. It's no longer a coincidence. It's a trend. It's a pattern. It keeps on happening. So I need to see you actually buckle down, because right now you're in crunch time. You have no more margin for error. You've already exceeded your budget. You got to your budget. You have no more margin for error. You have to win out if you want to make the playoffs. And again, I don't want to hear the excuse that we don't have our quarterback. I understand CJ is a very vital part of this team, and what makes this team good, and will put this team in the playoff situation. I understand that, but I don't want to hear that right now when you got other teams like the Cleveland Browns and the Indianapolis Colts, especially. You can throw in the Cincinnati Bengals. You can throw in Pittsburgh. You can throw in Minnesota. Who else is out there? Seeing what the Giants is doing. The Giants have won some games. You've seen all these other teams winning football games with backup quarterbacks. Two of them are already in the playoffs as it stands right now. One is right behind you, and then on the other side in the NFC, you got one that's if I'm not mistaken, I think the Vikings are in the playoffs standings. I think I haven't really looked at the playoff standings as it looks right now, but I feel like they are. And the Giants, I don't know exactly what the Giants are in the mix, but the Giants are trending more upward with their backup quarterback as it stands right now. So I don't want to hit it. I don't want to hit that. And the thing is, DeMeco has been in this situation before. Back in 2011, you lose Matt Schaub to a Liz Frank injury, and then you go to Jacksonville, and in the first half, before halftime, Matt Lyon gets knocked out, and you throw in T.J. Yates. T.J. Yates goes into Jacksonville in the hospital environment, finishes out in the divisional win, beats the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you go home to the Atlanta Falcons, beat the Atlanta Falcons. I forgot what the next game was, and then the Atlanta Falcons, and after that you go into Cincinnati in a hostile environment, win that game, clinch the division, and you go to the playoffs, and you go out and win a playoff game with a with a 6th-round third-string rookie quarterback. That's what you gotta do. So DeMeco Ryans has been in the situation. He was in the situation last year with Brock Purdy. And the thing is, we've won games with Davis Mills before. Now, I know it hasn't been that many. Well, he won, he won 3 games last year. He won 3 games last year. The year before, in 2021, his rookie year, he won 2. So he's won games before. So we need him to go out there and win games. Now, again, the offensive line has to protect. The offensive line has to do better. We got to see exactly what we're going to do with Nico Collins. Is Nico Collins available? I think that's another big hit as well. Is Nico going to be prepared? Because if Nico's not there, now we up here talking about Xavier Hutchinson. We need him to step up. Mechie. To be honest, I'm going to be honest with y'all about Mechie. I had more high hopes for Mechie coming to this last game, and he still only got 1 catch, and it was actually the drive where CJ got, actually the play that CJ got hurt on. That's when Mechie had his only catch of the day. It seemed like Hutchinson was more involved in the offense than Mechie was. I know that has a lot to do with the Jets defense. I mean, that's the third best secondary in the NFL. So I understand that. Sauce Gardner and Reeves showed you exactly how good they really are as a tandem. Robert Saleh showed you exactly how good he was as a defensive-minded coach, because that defense was ready to play that whole entire game. Rain, sleet, or snow, that defense was ready to play. So they showed you exactly what they felt like in that aspect. So I want to see more out of them. And so we might have to depend on them. Again, both Robert Woods and Noah Brown, I'm not too hyped about them. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I don't expect much out of them. I feel like that CJ was getting the most, CJ was getting the most out of Noah Brown. I don't think that Davis Mills can do that. That's just not Davis Mills is a true backup quarterback. He's not going to be able to elevate the talent around him like CJ can. So he's going to be more dependent on his guys to make plays. He's going to need Hutchinson and Mechie and hopefully Nico Collins and hopefully Dalton Schultz. He's going to need these guys to help him and make him better. Also, but football. Run the football with Devin Singletary. Stop trying to force the ball to Damian Pierce. He ain't it. He don't recognize it. Unless you're gonna go out there, if you're gonna go out there and run power, cool. Hand it to DP. If you're gonna go out there and run power, that's cool. Hand it to DP. But if you're going to keep on doing the scheme that you've been practicing on, that you've been doing all year long, Damian Pierce is not it, bro. Damian Pierce is not it. You're going to have to give the football to Singletary. So they're going to have a very, very solid game plan. The thing is, the thing about it is, they might need to keep the score low. And if they do that, that actually helps out the Titans because they got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, I know some people like Derrick Henry fell off. If I'm not mistaken, I think Derrick Henry is still like top 5 in rushing. Like Derrick Henry is still a top 5 rushing. Now we are a top 10 rushing defense. Like that's one thing our defense is definitely good. Our defense is a top 10 rushing defense, and it's not just because we play against bad running backs. We've held a lot of teams. We held Lamar Jackson and the Ravens under 100 yards or right at 100 yards as completely as a team in rushing. Not just they didn't have a 100-yard rusher. We held their team to right at 100 yards, even below 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with the Falcons. Same thing with Denver. Same thing with who else was another good running football team. We held Travis Etienne in check as well. I think when we played them, I think Travis Etienne had like under 3 yards per carry, if I'm not mistaken. So we're a very good, solid run defense. It's not by smoke and mirrors. That's something that's been throughout this whole season. We've been very good and very solid on run defense. I think the only game that we probably truly really had rushing issues was the first 2 drives with AR and the Colts in that game 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a little bit different. I don't expect that out of as it stands right now. I don't expect that out of Will Levis, but you do have Derrick Henry, so that is always something to be concerned. But Bobby Slowick and DeMeco Ryans gotta find a way to get Davis Mills ready and prepared and get a game plan suitable for him. A game plan suitable for him that highlights highlights all he does well, his assets, and minimizes deficiencies. That's what they're going to have to do to win this game. Because now we're in must-win mode because we have to win out. We have no more room for error. We have no more margin for error. I know technically, mathematically, you probably could drop a game and still make the playoffs. But you have complete control no matter what goes on out anybody else. Because if you do drop a game, now you probably are going to depend on, hey, I need this person to lose. I need that to happen. You ain't got to worry about that if you go out there and handle your business. You ain't got to worry about that if you go out there and handle your business. And you got to get your team ready and prepared right now. Because I don't believe that C.J. Stroud is going to be available on Sunday versus the Tennessee Titans. We just need to worry about him being available on Christmas Eve versus the Cleveland Browns at home at NRG. That's more of a concern. We need him more. We need him available then. We need him available for the following week. We need him available for the last game of the season. We need him available for the playoffs. And more importantly, we need him available. We need him more available throughout the rest of his career because we don't want a Fedora situation. We don't want that. And like I said, they checked him out for a head issue the previous week, and then the following week, he's in the concussion protocol. The NFL and the Texans are not going to play around with that. They're just not. They're just not. They're not going to play. They're not going to play around with that because once you start getting concussions, you're more susceptible to get them. That's why we can't just put you out there. And now you have back-to-back issues and back-to-back weeks. You gotta calm down and you gotta be like, "Hey, man, we just spent the second pick in the draft on this kid. This kid looks like he's the truth. We don't want to end. We don't want to cut off our nose and spite our face before we even really get good and going into the situation. So we gotta hold our horses and we gotta get our backup quarterback ready to play. We just do. We just gotta get our backup quarterback ready to play. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We gotta do it. And now DeMeco Ryans gets to show exactly why he was the hottest head coaching candidate of all the head coaches. He's going to be able to prove it. He's going to be able to prove it now because this is one thing about Bill O'Brien. Everybody talks about Bill O'Brien all they want to. That's one thing that Bill O'Brien was extremely good at: getting a mediocre quarterback or a bad quarterback prepared to play a following game. That was something he was definitely good at. He was definitely good at that. He was always able to get a bad quarterback prepared to play a following game once he had an injury to his previous quarterback. He was always able to do it. He was always able to do it. So that's something that he has to be able to get done. He just has to be able to get that done, and that's going to show exactly what type of head coach he is. And I believe he is. I believe he's going to be able to go out there and get it done, and be able to show you exactly why he was the highest head coaching candidate on the market, and also Bobby Slowick. Now we get to really see the football genius, because now you're not going to be just living off of C.J. Stroud's talent. Now we're going to get to see the exact football genius that you really are. Like.